Hi, my name is Rita. I'm a founder of Heart to Heart Spaces. It's basically a community-based organization that helps people get therapy, psychiatrical help, and and advocacy. We do a lot of advocacy around mental health and mental illness. I'm also an author of a book called Dear Me that details part of my journey to healing and to finding myself. When people most times have issues, they go to see a counselor, other people go to see a therapist, and some people have it jumbled or confused in there. But basically, a counselor can be anybody. If you take on a counseling course, a pastor can be a counselor, a teacher can be a counselor if they do this course, but therapists actually go and do social sciences. So they have, and they specialize in therapy or community therapy. So a therapist can be a counselor, but a counselor may not be a therapist. That's the major difference that I get from the two. Remember how I told you Heart to Heart Spaces does a lot of advocacy? One of the things people do not know is addiction is actually a mental illness that is recognized. So just like any other mental illnesses, when you go see a therapist, you get a treatment plan. Of course, it's so hard because you're now hooked to this specific thing or behavior, and it's affecting everything: your work, your studies, your friendships, your family. They call addiction an all-round mental illness because everybody is going to suffer because of what you are sick of. But there is hope. So one of the things the counselors can or the therapist can tell you is to try cognitive behavior therapy. This is a type of therapy where you go back to back with your behaviors, basically what you're doing. So you sit down and say, okay, why did I do this? How did it make me feel? How am I going to react to it after? And this basically helps in your decision making. It helps disrupt that bad behavior or bad habit, because alcohol or drug abuse isn't a good habit, and it teaches you other ways to cope. I've met people who cope by taking alcohol. That's how they cope with their depression, their anxiety, or other mental illnesses. So they find the fastest means out, because in that moment you're like, anything that can numb my pain in this moment, I'm going to do it. And you find them going down that strain. Most of my friends in psych ward were addicts, and when we talked to them, the underlying issue was mental illness, and then they got hooked to the alcohol or to the drugs as a coping mechanism. And then the other people just get hooked because life, sincerely, you have cool friends. One moment you're trying to be cool, the next moment the drug is cooler than you and it's controlling everything that you're doing. So therapy really helps with such instances. There's individual therapy where you have a one-on-one session, and then there's group therapy. I'd love to believe group therapy actually helps you push on, because you now have a space where you can be yourself, where no one is just talking at you, but you're talking about your experiences you're going through, and other part sharing their coping mechanisms. They are good coping mechanisms, because alcoholism and drug taking are negative coping mechanisms. So that's how group therapy helps, individual therapy helps, cognitive behavior therapy helps, and there are also other types of therapy that your counselor or therapist can recommend in that moment. So I've spoken a lot about Heart to Heart Spaces, and you're wondering where you can find us in order for us to be able to help you. We are on Twitter as Heart to Spaces, we're on Instagram as Heart to Heart Spaces, but also you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. I'm Auma Rita or Rita Vigilante. So those are my handles. I spend a lot of time advocating and teaching and informing people. We can help you connect to a psychiatrist, to a therapist, but I'm also running a fundraiser to help people who cannot afford therapy be able to get these services, because I don't believe someone should go through that whole journey alone. So from me to you, I'm sending you love and light. Thank you for having me.